From the News Channel 8 studios, let's talk live with your hosts, Natasha Barrett and Melanie Hastings.
If you have kids in high school, you know they're facing more and more pressure when it comes to that college application. And it is a process. It's no longer just about getting good grades anymore and doing well in your SATs. It's a lot more.
Yeah, and community service too, all those things. But it's also about the interview process. So how does a student become a really standout applicant who gets noticed and chosen? Chen is here today. She's with Global Professional Protocol, and she's going to help us sort out the do's and don'ts of the college application interview. Good to see you, Christine.
Good to see you too.
It used to be, at least back in my day, oh, take the SATs, you may want to take the ACTs, get the grades, but now it's beyond that.
Oh, it is, and it's very competitive now. Kids are applying to more than just one college because some colleges, they accept as low as 14% of all applications that they receive.
And now, do you think that, what's the factors there? It's just more people applying, more better applicants? What do you think is the issue?
Yeah, I think it's because there's a lot of students applying to particular colleges or universities that they want to get into.
And they have a certain amount of in-staters they have to accept versus out-of-staters. So depending on that, you kind of get better advantage or not.
Yes.
But the interview process is not, it's not required by all schools, is it?
No, not every school is going to ask for an interview, and you shouldn't, the students shouldn't worry if they don't get asked to come to an interview, but many do, especially the ones that there is a wait list and or it is very competitive to get in. Then they'll go that next step to find out who shines, who rises above.
Even out-of-state students, they're doing this and having them come in? Have you heard of that? Because I would think just the cost of that.
Oh, out-of-state, yes. They're well, it's your own expense.
Of course it is, isn't it always? That's the other thing. It's like unless your parents are made of gold these days, because colleges, even some state colleges, and you're an in-state resident, you know, I was recently looking at it with a friend's child that's a senior in high school, and I'm going, whoa.
Yeah.
Usually state would be a little bit cheaper, but it's kind of up there with private school.
It is. My daughter just had a friend of hers go to California to interview for medical school out there.
Wow.
So yeah, they're going all over the place.
So I guess the best thing is when you're doing the college tours, you should try to interview at the time because you're already there.
Right, if you can. Yeah. If you have an application in and they're open to do that, sure.
And sometimes you have an interview maybe with an admissions person. Other times it might be like a group kind of thing. Maybe with an alumnus or somebody who's a student who's taking people on a tour. You just never know.
Right. The important thing is to be prepared for both. And I think that is the biggest tip I could give to high school students getting ready to interview, is to do your homework.
Let's talk about that interview. What is typically asked in that interview of a high school senior?
Well, the questions will be asked, and it would be well for the senior to figure out what those questions might be so that they can prepare ahead of time. A typical question is, tell me about yourself. You know, and the high school student doesn't want to just say, oh, I'm fun, I'm hardworking. Everybody says that, and the college hopes you are.
And it's tough to talk about yourself. When it's such a broad question like that, it's like, what do I say? Yeah. What would you recommend? When you get a broad question like that, what are the positive attributes that you should highlight about yourself without feeling like you're bragging?
Right, and you can. You need to be able to feel comfortable in talking about yourself and to talk about those moments that you did shine. There's nothing wrong with that. And even to talk about those things that might be a little bit funny about yourself. You were the yo-yo champion in your high school. You know, you taught your dog.
Well, you want to make an impression. You want something that's going to stick with them, and something like that might actually.
Exactly. So talk about all of these different things. Why do your friends like hanging out with you? What's different about you? What have you done in your community to serve others? Things like that.
Is it so much the content of what you're saying, or are they looking at you and how you interact and seeing what kind of person, you know, how you present yourself? They're taking other notes besides what you're saying.
They are. Well, we all know that your body language, the first impression, speaks volumes, even more than the words that we say. So it's very important for high school students to make sure that their posture is good. They're not slumped over, dragging in.
They look interested.
Yes, looking interested. And the way you look interested is to know something about the college. If you didn't do your homework and really, if you start asking questions that are easily found on their website or in the brochures that they sent you, they're going to know you didn't do your homework.
Speaking of homework, the colleges are not only doing homework on you with the application process, but on social media sites. They're checking Facebook, they're checking Twitter, which could be a nightmare for people in high school because they put everything out there. It's not just, you know, a future employer. Colleges are doing this now.
Yes, that's right. And that's what a lot of students need to remember, that the colleges will then go to your social media sites and check out what you're like. And you better make sure that it's positive, that whatever you have on there makes you shine, makes the college say to themselves, this person is going to represent us well. So you need to make sure that the photographs on that don't represent a party guy or a party gal, you know.
It's a party animal,
especially since it comes to sports athletes. I recently did a story where even in the state of Maryland, down in South Carolina, colleges admit to basically saying if you're going to be on this team, even intramural sports, that they are going to, you have to friend a coach. You know, or the athletic director, so they check on your Facebook. Now, a lot of people said, well, that's not fair, but if they're going on college scholarships, representing the school wants to keep tabs on them. So it's getting a little bit more personal for these students if they want to go to these schools because they're essentially representing them.
You are. You're representing the school. And so, but some things that students should remember to put on their Facebook, there's a lot of don'ts, you know, that make sure you're dressed appropriately, that not too much PDA going on in the photographs, but also to highlight those moments. If you do sports, if you do music, community service, things like that. Your travel. If you travel, it shows that you're open to new experiences, that you know, you love adventure. So go ahead and post those things on your Facebook.
And you want to tell them something that they're not getting from your transcript.
That's right.
They have all that information. Tell them something else about
That's
you,
right?
So that you're a broad individual. Lots of great tips for acing that interview. Thanks so much, Christine, for coming in today.
You're welcome.
Up next on the show, Larry.